Welcome, beautiful damsels. Some people will hate you for being strong enough to walk away from their toxicity. When it comes to narcissists, nothing infuriates them more than someone they can't control, and Sigma females are the epitome of untouchable. They aren't mesmerized by charm, immune to manipulation, and completely disinterested in feeding anyone's inflated ego. To a narcissist, a Sigma female is like a mirror they're too afraid to look into, a reflection of everything they despise but can't conquer. This deep-rooted hatred doesn't just simmer beneath the surface, it burns fiercely because no matter how hard they try, they'll never bend it to their will. Let's explore why narcissists loathe Sigma females to their very core. Number 1. Sigma females call out narcissistic behavior without fear. Narcissists rely on others to stay silent. They depend on people either being too afraid to confront them or too concerned with keeping the peace. But Sigma females are cut from a different cloth. They have no fear in calling out narcissistic behavior when they see it, and they do it without flinching. This is what makes them so dangerous to narcissists. Most people will walk on eggshells around a narcissist, not wanting to stir up conflict or deal with the inevitable backlash. A Sigma female, on the other hand, isn't concerned with how the narcissist will react. She cares about what's right, and she's not going to let toxic behavior slide, no matter how uncomfortable it makes the narcissist. When she calls out their lies, manipulations, or grandstanding, it's like ripping off their mask. Narcissists thrive on the fact that people often don't want to confront them because they're exhausting to deal with. But a Sigma female won't tolerate disrespect, dishonesty, or manipulation, and she'll make it clear when someone crosses the line. The narcissist, who thrives on creating chaos from the shadows, hates the spotlight being turned on their tactics. When a Sigma female exposes them, they're forced to confront the fact that someone has figured them out, and they're powerless to stop it. This exposure is humiliating to them because it strips away the carefully crafted image they've spent so long building. Narcissists aren't used to being challenged directly, especially by someone they can't intimidate or manipulate. The Sigma female doesn't back down, doesn't waver, and doesn't care about the narcissist's fragile ego. To the narcissist, being seen for what they really are, weak, insecure, and manipulative, is a fate worse than anything. And the Sigma female, with her unapologetic honesty, delivers that harsh truth with ease. Number 2. Sigma females aren't impressed by narcissistic showboating. Narcissists live for attention. Their entire world revolves around being admired, envied, and put on a pedestal. They'll go to great lengths to put on a show, whether it's through their appearance, their achievements, or just by talking endlessly about themselves. They crave the spotlight because it feeds their ego. But here's the problem. Sigma females don't care. They aren't impressed by flashy displays or self-centered bragging. Narcissists want to be the center of attention, but in the presence of a Sigma female, their efforts fall flat. A Sigma female values depth and substance, not superficial theatrics. Narcissists might try to dazzle her with stories of their success or charm her with exaggerated tales, but she sees right through it. She knows when someone's trying too hard, and she's not about to stroke their ego just to make them feel good about themselves. To a narcissist, this indifference is unbearable. They're used to people getting swept up in their act, giving them the admiration they crave. But when they come across a Sigma, they're met with cold, hard reality, someone who couldn't care less about their performance. What's worse for the narcissist is that the Sigma female's disinterest isn't just passive. It's like a silent rejection of everything they stand for. It's not that she's trying to knock them down, it's that she genuinely finds their ego-driven behavior unappealing. The narcissist's entire sense of self-worth is built on the validation of others, so when they don't get it from the Sigma, it eats away at them. They don't know how to deal with someone who doesn't buy into their charm or who isn't fazed by their showboating. For a narcissist, being unimpressive is the ultimate insult, and to a Sigma female, that's all they are. Number 3. Sigma females are immune to manipulation. Narcissists thrive on manipulation. It's their weapon of choice, their way of controlling others to inflate their own egos. But when they encounter a Sigma female, they hit a wall. She is immune to their tactics, and that drives them insane. Narcissists are used to people bending to their will, responding to their emotional traps, and being lured into their web of manipulation. Sigma females, however, don't need anyone's approval or validation, and that completely disrupts the narcissist's game. They live for control, but the Sigma female is unbreakable. Her independence is her shield. She doesn't react the way the narcissist expects because she doesn't care about being liked or accepted by them, or anyone for that matter. While others might get caught up in trying to please or win over a narcissist, the Sigma female stands firm, indifferent to their manipulative charm. She's the person who sees right through the facade and keeps walking, unfazed by the drama or the fake allure. This lack of emotional response disarms the narcissist completely. For a narcissist, control is everything. When they can't manipulate someone, especially someone as strong and self-sufficient as a Sigma female, it's like having their power stripped away. They hate how effortlessly she resists their influence. And more than that, they loathe how small they feel in her presence. A narcissist's entire identity is wrapped around dominance, but with a Sigma female, they have nothing to latch onto. She's out of reach, untouchable, and that shatters their illusion of control. The very thing that makes her powerful, her independence, becomes their greatest frustration. In the end, she exposes just how powerless they really are. Number 4. Sigma females mirror narcissists' insecurities. Narcissists build their entire identity around a facade of superiority. They project confidence, power, and self-assuredness, but deep down, it's all just a fragile cover-up for deep-rooted insecurities. They need constant validation to keep this mask intact, and the more admiration they get, the more they can ignore the cracks underneath. But when a Sigma female enters the picture, she has a way of forcing them to face what they're hiding from. Her unapologetic confidence and independence act like a mirror, reflecting back the insecurities the narcissist works so hard to bury. The narcissist might try to show off or prove their worth, but to a Sigma, these attempts come off as desperate. She doesn't play along with their ego games because she doesn't need to. Her sense of self isn't tied to anyone's opinion, and that alone unnerves the narcissist. It's not that she's actively trying to expose them, it's that her very existence highlights everything they fear about themselves. They see someone who is genuinely self-reliant and comfortable in her own skin, and it reminds them of how empty their own sense of self is. This quiet confidence rattles the narcissist because it's something they can never truly possess. They've built their identity on external validation, while the Sigma female is the complete opposite. She's not seeking approval from anyone, least of all a narcissist. And the narcissist who thrives on creating a false image of perfection starts to feel small in comparison. The more they try to impress her, the more obvious their insecurities become. In her presence, they're stripped of their carefully crafted armor, and what's left is the truth they hate to face, that they are, at their core, insecure and vulnerable. And that's something a narcissist just can't stand. Number 5. Sigma females have no interest in narcissists' games. Narcissists thrive on chaos and confusion. They love to twist situations, rewrite the narrative, and manipulate people's emotions to stay in control. They create drama, stir up conflict, and then sit back, enjoying the power they hold over others as they manipulate their way to the top of the social food chain. But with a Sigma female, all of this crumbles. She doesn't get pulled into their web of drama because she's laser-focused on what really matters. She's not interested in petty mind games or emotional manipulation, and that drives the narcissist wild. The Sigma female has an unwavering sense of clarity and purpose, which means she sees right through the narcissist's attempts to confuse and control. While others might get tangled in the narcissist's emotional traps, she remains unbothered, calmly seeing the bigger picture. She doesn't feed into the drama or give them the emotional reaction they crave. This frustrates the narcissist to no end because without that emotional chaos, they lose their power. A narcissist's strength lies in creating confusion and then being the one to solve it. But a Sigma female doesn't play by those rules. She stays grounded, and the narcissist is left spinning, unable to get a grip on her emotions. To the narcissist, The Sigma female is like a calm in the storm they're desperately trying to create. Her steady presence is a constant reminder that their games aren't working. Instead of engaging with their manipulation, she simply moves forward, unaffected and unimpressed. This ability to stay detached from their chaos makes the narcissist feel powerless, and they can't stand it. They're used to controlling the narrative, but with a Sigma female they lose the one thing they need most: control. In the end, her calmness becomes their greatest frustration, leaving them floundering in their own chaos. Number 6. Sigma females don't feed the narcissist's ego. Narcissists are often drawn to people who feed their ego, those who will shower them with praise and admiration at every turn. They want to be surrounded by followers who look up to them, making them feel powerful and validated. But when they encounter a Sigma female, that dynamic flips entirely. She's not interested in worshiping anyone, let alone a narcissist. Her independence and self-reliance shine through, and that drives narcissists into a frenzy. They can't stand the idea that someone could walk into a room and not only be unaffected by their presence, but actually be comfortable in their own skin without their validation. This lack of neediness is like kryptonite to a narcissist. They thrive on the attention and admiration of others, often feeding off compliments and needing constant reassurance about their worth. When a Sigma female enters the picture, she's unapologetically herself and doesn't require their approval or admiration. This confuses and irritates the narcissist, who is used to being the main attraction. They find themselves scrambling to regain control, throwing out compliments and exaggerated stories in hopes of drawing her in. But the more they try to impress her, the more they reveal their desperation. The Sigma female doesn't flinch. She remains unfazed by their attempts to elevate themselves at her expense. To the narcissist, being ignored by someone who embodies strength and confidence is not just frustrating, it's a threat to their very identity. They can't comprehend why anyone wouldn't want to bask in their glory. The Sigma female's indifference highlights their neediness, and that's a hard pill for a narcissist to swallow. In her presence, their usual charm falls flat, and the realization that they can't manipulate or impress her shakes the very foundation of their inflated self-image. They may find her intriguing, but more than anything, she's a painful reminder of their own shortcomings, and that's what they truly despise. Number 7. Sigma females dominate conversations without trying. Narcissists thrive on power plays, always seeking to dominate conversations and dictate the terms of relationships. They crave control, often positioning themselves as the center of attention and manipulating others to meet their needs. However, when a Sigma female enters their world, the usual power dynamics shift dramatically. She possesses an innate ability to hold her ground, making it clear that she won't be bullied or pushed around. This refusal to comply with the narcissist's demands sends them into a rage, as they quickly realize they can't dictate her actions or emotions. The Sigma female understands her worth and won't tolerate the narcissist's attempts to belittle or manipulate her. Instead of feeling intimidated by their bravado, she meets their arrogance with a quiet confidence that disarms them. This sense of self-assuredness frustrates the narcissist, who is accustomed to bending people to their will. In their eyes, the Sigma female becomes a formidable opponent, someone who isn't afraid to stand up and challenge their narrative. The narcissist's typical tactics of guilt-tripping or emotional manipulation fall flat, and their frustration grows. What's even more infuriating for a narcissist is the Sigma female's ability to maintain her composure while they lash out. When the narcissist attempts to belittle her or assert dominance, she simply nods, unfazed by their antics. Instead of rising to the bait, she remains steady, refusing to engage in their game. This calmness is a direct threat to the narcissist's carefully constructed image of superiority. It exposes their weaknesses and insecurities, laying bare the emptiness behind their bravado. The more they try to assert control, the more powerless they feel in her presence. In the end, the Sigma female's refusal to play by the narcissist's rules not only frustrates them, but also strips them of their power, leaving them reeling in confusion and anger. Number 8. Sigma females. Trigger narcissists' deepest fear: irrelevance. Narcissists crave admiration, but even more than that, they desperately want to be needed. Their sense of superiority feeds off the idea that people can't function without them, that they're the key to someone else's happiness or success. This is how they maintain their control and power. But when it comes to a Sigma female, this entire dynamic falls apart. She doesn't need anyone, especially not a narcissist. She's fiercely independent, relying on herself for her happiness, her success, and her validation. And that shakes a narcissist to their core. For a narcissist, the idea that someone can exist without needing them is terrifying. It's a direct threat to their inflated sense of importance. They need to feel indispensable, but a Sigma female's self-sufficiency makes them realize how unnecessary they actually are. She's not interested in relying on anyone, especially not for things she knows she can handle herself. This level of independence is something the narcissist can't comprehend, because their whole identity is built around the illusion that they are essential to others. The more the narcissist tries to insert themselves into the Sigma female's life, the more she distances herself. She's not cold or unfeeling, but she has no tolerance for people who try to cling to her for validation. The narcissist's usual strategy of making people feel dependent on them simply doesn't work. Instead of finding someone who needs them, they find someone who thrives without them, and it's a blow to their ego they can't recover from. To a narcissist, being unneeded is unbearable. They hate the fact that the Sigma female's world doesn't revolve around them, and that her life moves forward regardless of their presence. For a narcissist, that sense of irrelevance is the ultimate insult. Number 9. Sigma females are self-sufficient and unaffected by guilt trips. Narcissists rely heavily on their ability to manipulate emotions to get what they want. They're experts at playing with people's feelings, whether it's through guilt-tripping, love-bombing, or throwing temper tantrums. This emotional manipulation keeps others off balance, unsure of where they stand, and more likely to bend to the narcissist's will. But the Sigma female is practically immune to this kind of manipulation. She's not easily swayed by emotional tactics, which leaves the narcissist fumbling for control. Sigma females have a strong sense of emotional independence. They don't need others to validate their feelings, and they don't get swept up in emotional theatrics. When a narcissist tries to use emotional manipulation, whether through sudden displays of affection or explosive arguments, it doesn't have the desired effect on a Sigma. Instead of reacting or getting pulled into the emotional whirlwind, she remains calm and centered. This frustrates the narcissist because their typical strategies to manipulate or guilt-trip someone don't work here. The Sigma female's emotional intelligence and self-awareness allow her to spot manipulation from a mile away, and she shuts it down before it even takes root. Narcissists thrive on controlling emotions, but with a Sigma female, they're up against someone who's already in full control of her own emotions. The usual power dynamic where the narcissist pulls the strings and watches others dance simply falls apart. What makes it worse for the narcissist is that the Sigma doesn't just ignore the manipulation. She exposes it. She'll call it out calmly and assertively, making the narcissist feel small and exposed. They're used to being the puppet masters, but when their strings get cut, they're left powerless and deeply frustrated. To them, a Sigma female's emotional stability is not just unshakable, it's a direct threat to the control they so desperately need. Number 10. Sigma females refuse to be controlled. Narcissists build their sense of power around the ability to manipulate and control others, thriving on the idea that they can shape people's thoughts and actions. It gives them a sense of superiority and importance. But when they encounter a Sigma female, their entire strategy falls apart. Sigma females refuse to play by anyone's rules but their own. They don't seek approval, and they definitely don't allow anyone to dictate how they should live their lives. This defiance throws narcissists off balance, exposing the cracks in their facade of control. For the narcissist, Every relationship is a game where they pull the strings, expecting others to fall in line. Yet a Sigma female won't budge. Her independence and self-assuredness are like armor, making her immune to the narcissist's attempts at mind games or guilt trips. She sees right through their tactics and chooses not to engage. The more the narcissist tries to exert control, the more futile it becomes. This drives the narcissist into a spiral of frustration, as their power play no longer holds any sway. This inability to dominate the Sigma female doesn't just annoy the narcissist, it threatens their entire sense of self. Being unable to bend her to their will highlights their own weaknesses, making them feel small and powerless. The more the Sigma stands her ground, the more the narcissist's anger and resentment deepen. They can't handle the fact that, for once, they are not the ones in charge. And this loss of control is something they simply cannot accept, turning their admiration into a deep, seething resentment toward the Sigma female. In the intricate dance of relationships, the clash between narcissists and Sigma females reveals a profound truth. Power lies not in control, but in authenticity and self-reliance. While narcissists are driven by their need for admiration and dominance, Sigma females embody independence, emotional resilience, and an unwavering sense of self. This dynamic creates a tension that highlights the weaknesses of narcissists who thrive on manipulation and validation. The Sigma female's refusal to conform to their demands not only frustrates, but also strips away the facade that narcissists so desperately cling to. Ultimately, this confrontation is a reminder that true strength lies in knowing one's worth and standing firm in one's identity. While the narcissist flounders in a world where they can no longer assert control, the Sigma female thrives, radiating confidence and authenticity. She navigates life on her terms, unencumbered by the need for external validation. In a society that often elevates the loud and self-serving, the quiet power of a Sigma female serves as a compelling testament to the importance of self-acceptance and emotional intelligence. As they clash, it becomes clear, the real victory belongs to those who understand that strength is not about domination, but about the freedom to be oneself without apology. In the end, it's this authenticity that resonates most deeply, leaving the narcissist seething in their shadows, grappling with a truth they can't escape. If you found this exploration of the battle between narcissists and Sigma females intriguing, don't miss out on more captivating content. Hit that subscribe button and join our community for a deep dive into the complexities of relationships and the power dynamics at play. Trust us, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks, damsels, for tuning in. See you in the next vid. Bye, and stay blessed.